I was driving through the winding back roads on a dark and stormy night with 3 of my friends. We had been at a party at a friend's house in the countryside. It had been going great, until someone claimed to have seen a face peering in the window and then disappearing. I tried to downplay the situation, urging my friends to leave. "Come on. Guys, let's get out of here. It's just someone's imagination getting the best of them." But as the storm worsened, we decided it was probably best to head home. So we took the back roads to avoid the traffic, never expecting what was about to happen. One of my friends was visibly nervous, gripping the dashboard tightly. "I can't believe we're driving through this storm. I hope we make it home in one piece." The rain was coming down in sheets, and the wind was howling through the trees, making it difficult to see the road ahead. But we were determined to get home, so we pressed on. As we drove, we suddenly came upon a strange figure standing in the middle of the road. It was a creepy-looking man, with long, tangled hair and ragged clothes. He seemed to be beckoning to us, waving his arms and gesturing for us to stop. Another friend let out an exclamation of shock. "Whoa, what the hell is that?" We were frightened and hesitated for a moment. But then the driver pulled the car over to the side of the road. As we got closer, we could see that the man's eyes were wild and his skin was pale. It was as if he hadn't seen the light of day in years. Suddenly, the man let out a blood-curdling scream, startling us, and causing the driver to slam on the brakes. The man then lunged at the car, his hands clawing at the windows as if he wanted to get inside. One of my friends yelled in fear, "Oh my God, go! Go!" We were terrified and couldn't believe what we were seeing. We frantically tried to start the car, and finally it roared to life. We floored the accelerator and sped away, leaving the creepy man behind in the darkness. As we drove off, we could see the man in the rearview mirror. He was standing in the middle of the road, watching us go. We didn't stop until we reached the safety of the city. And we never looked back. But as we arrived home and settled into bed, we couldn't shake the feeling that we were being watched. As we lay there, trying to fall asleep, we suddenly heard a knock on the window. I whispered to my friends, "Did you guys hear that?" One of my friends nodded, their eyes wide with fear. "Yeah, it sounded like it was coming from the window." Heart racing, we sat up and looked out to see the creepy man standing outside, his face pressed up against the glass. We frantically grabbed our phones and called the police, who arrived just in time to catch the man as he tried to flee. The police took the man into custody and questioned him about his motives. It turned out that he was an escaped mental patient, who had been living in the woods for years. He had become fixated on the idea that there was a secret hidden in the old house deep in the woods. And he had been trying to lure people there to help him find it. We were shaken, but relieved that the police had caught the dangerous man. We never spoke of that scary night again, but the memory of the creepy man and the terrifying encounter stayed with us forever. We knew we had narrowly escaped a terrible fate, and we vowed never to venture down those winding back roads at night again. But even as the days turned into weeks, and the weeks turned into months, we couldn't shake the feeling that we were being watched. Every time we left the house, we couldn't help but feel like someone was following us. And every time we heard a knock on the door, we couldn't help but fear that it was the creepy man, coming back to finish what he had started. It wasn't until we received a letter in the mail from the mental institution where the man had been locked up, telling us that he had escaped again, that we knew our fears were justified. We immediately called the police and told them what had happened, but it was too late. The man had vanished into the night, and we were left to wonder if we would ever see him again. We knew that we had to be vigilant and always be on guard. We knew that the creepy man was still out there, lurking in the shadows and waiting for his chance to strike again. But despite our fears, we refused to let the creepy man ruin our lives. We took self-defense classes and made sure to always be with at least one other person when we were out. We also installed security cameras around our house and made sure to lock all the doors and windows before going to bed at night. It wasn't until several years later, when the creepy man was finally caught by the police and locked up for good, that we were able to truly relax and feel safe again. We knew that he could never hurt us again, and we were grateful to have survived the terrifying night on the winding back roads.